This is the newsroom for Friday, July 11, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, an unapologetic Asha Kissoon, who refused to vacate her seat in the National Assembly, opens up about playing the game of politics.
This is politics, not church.
APNU's Aubrey Norton doubles down on exorbitant election promises. PPP's Jagdeo says the party's focus on policies, progress and patriotism will be on full display at their campaign launch this Sunday.
We're not dealing with optics, politics.
And in sport, winning start for the Hobart Hurricanes as Warriors start GSL on a losing note, and President Irfaan Ali touts the potential of the homegrown global Super League. With the news, I'm Vishani Raghuwar. Thanks for joining us. Dr. Asha Kissoon, who defied her political partners and refused to vacate her seat in the National Assembly, has said she has no apologies for what she did. In an interview with the newsroom's Neil Marks, Dr. Kissoon said she was not paid, coerced or asked by the ruling PPP to hold down her seat, reasoning that with a majority, the PPP did not depend on her vote for anything. Dr. Kissoon's TNM party, along with the LJP and ANOG parties, had contested the 2020 general elections as one. When the elections results showed their combined votes only secured them one seat, they agreed to rotate the seat. LJP's Lennox Schumann went first, and next it was ANOG's turn. But they decided to let the TNM go next, and Dr. Kissoon took up the seat and served as Deputy Speaker. When she said ANOG refused to cooperate with her and then berated her for the votes she took in the National Assembly, she decided to play the game and refused to vacate her seat until the Parliament was dissolved to make way for fresh general elections. In her words, this is politics, not church.
Explain to me why you chose not to give up your seat.
Sure. I think it all began with the agreement that I had with the joiner parties. The agreement was that we would work as one. Getting into Parliament, Mr. Schumann went first. And he also faced the similar challenges that I had, that ANOG would not work with us on bills, on voting, on issues in Parliament. So something...
What do you mean by that? Why did they have to work with you on those?
That was in the agreement that we signed. That
everything that you do in Parliament, all the parties
must agree. Yes. What the public does not know, and they did not make public, is that they approached me to go in Parliament second, even though they were slated to go second. ANOG approached me. They made the public believe that I wanted to go second so I could hold on to the seat. That never happened like that. Few people know that Mr. Schumann actually got some extra time from TNM because he had some work he wanted to wrap up, and we gave him that time. Initially, when we were speaking, we wanted to do 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, even though the votes were, because we still have, according to our understanding back then, we could have decided how we wanted to divide the seat. So after I got in, I would send all the bills to ANOG. I would share all the motions from Parliament, and I got no feedback. I remember the very first time I voted in Parliament, my phone started blowing up. The then chairman, Mark France, was sending me many messages saying, you cannot vote, we never agreed if we're voting yes or no. And I remember that was a turning point for me, because I said to him, Mark, I'm not going to sit in Parliament as a puppet. If I agree with a motion, I will vote yes. If I disagree, I will vote no. And if you guys cannot give me feedback or read the bills or the motions, I will not be anybody's puppet. I need to remind people, this is politics, not church. We might have had a gentleman's agreement, but this is how I decided to play the game, and I stand by it.
So you weren't being paid, coerced, asked by the PPP to hold on that seat?
That is so hilarious, because you're the 100th person to ask me this question. No, not at all. The PPP doesn't have a need for our vote or seat. They're a majority government. Why would they need to pay me to hold a seat for them that doesn't add to their votes? It doesn't make sense. Of course, ANOG and other parties would want to push that agenda, but there was no need. Be logical. They do not need our vote to pass bills in Parliament.
To have a more solid majority in the Parliament?
That doesn't make sense, Neil. Why spend money and resources into something that's not necessary?
So but you could understand how it looks now that you've come out to support the PPP.
I understand completely, but my support for them has nothing to do with holding the seat in Parliament. It's just based on everything that I've campaigned on, I've seen fulfilled.
So you have no apologies to make for violating your agreement with the other parties and holding on to your seat in Parliament?
I did what I did.
People would say it's ridiculous that you've joined the PPP not expecting anything.
I am a young woman, okay? And if something is offered, I will accept it. Who wouldn't? It's not an expectation that I'm doing this to gain. It's saying that I'm going to put in the work, and if the work warrants something, I'll accept it.
So if you were to look back at it, and given all that happened after that, you would have still made the same decision that you made?
Yes.
A Partnership for National Unity, APNU for short, is proposing to spend an additional $400 billion in its first budget should it be elected to office after the September 1, 2025 general and regional elections. Party leader and presidential candidate Aubrey Norton said spending on personal and household incomes will amount to no more than 30% of the party's national budget for its first term in office. That equates to about $400 billion, Norton said.
Expenditure on raising personal and household incomes will amount to no more than 30% of our national budget in the first year, for a total sum of approximately $400 billion in new spending. Specific yearly investments include $100 billion on raising salaries, $40 billion on raising the tax-free threshold to $400,000 a month for over 200 public and private sector workers and self-employed persons, an additional $53 billion to increase old age pension from $41,000 to $100,000 per month for 74,000 pensioners, $9 billion for the student stipend program for tertiary institutions, $25 billion for the child care allowance program. Enough fiscal space therefore exists now and in the future to make these investments.
We tell you now that the PPP's elections campaign launched this Sunday will not focus on new faces to join the party, but rather about real plans for development and policies in the interest of citizens. It's not about optics, politics, the party's General Secretary Dr. Jagdeo said Thursday at his weekly press conference. He chose to stay away from talk about any surprise faces at the campaign launch on Sunday at the Kitty Market Square in Georgetown.
We're not dealing with optics, politics. We're not into that. We're looking to deliver on a program. So if we had competent people and who can run sectors or there, we will put them back. We're not looking to juggle people around too much for the optics of it. We have a combination of young people and people who have been there with experience, because you need that. And we are determined at every level in the party, not just on the list, because people tend to look at the national list, but you also have the regional list, we have the local government elections, and then in our party structures, we grow the young people all the time. So you're going to see young people on the list, quite a few of young people on the list, but we're not looking for the optics politics. You'd find that the list would look like Guyana, people of every race. You'd find a lot of that. And that's not because we're trying to make a point about diversity. It is done in an organic way because these are our supporters and people who support us or share our vision. So we're not doing it for the show of it. These are people who are actually members. This is a composition of our party and our wider circles. They're diverse, so it's easy for us to pick people a diverse list because our base is so broad and it reaches into every community.
Still to come, we tell you about the former APNU member who is now with the AFC and the house lots for Region 2 residents. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. The ruling People's Progressive Party continued to fight back against what its General Secretary Dr. Jagdeo says are lies being peddled by presidential hopeful Mohamed, who cries political persecution by the government. Mohamed, his father, and their companies have been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury for bribery and corruption, and Dr. Jagdeo pointed out Thursday that if there were no reactions, the country's entire financial system could have collapsed. Once the Mohammeds were sanctioned, the country's private banks shut down his accounts, and so they are unable to have a bank account. The government also ceased business with the family. Jagdeo said the PPP could not sacrifice the interest of the entire country simply to back the Mohammeds.
The fact is that he has been coming after the PPP. We defend our record. So we will defend our record, but we're not persecuting him. He likes to claim that. He goes and lies around the country that the PPP sanctioned him. We didn't sanction him. The US did. But we are obligated once he is sanctioned. This is a serious, serious business. Very few people in the world are sanctioned by the US Treasury. The more common form of sanction is the visa withdrawal. But when you get sanctioned by the Treasury, you can't do business with US entities anywhere in the world. If you're local and you do business with the Mohammeds, you're subjected, or you could be subjected to a law enforcement action or be sanctioned yourself. The OFAC statement says this. Not the PPP saying that. That's the standard procedure of OFAC. The several people who've been associated with him have also received the sanction already quietly. You know how many are quiet? They're embarrassed to say they've lost their visas because of association with him. The investigations must, in FIU, GRA, the police, that should continue their work in collaboration with the US government. They have conversations, they share information. But me, I don't want to get involved in that because he is now a political opponent. So they have to continue their investigations, but we will not, I'm not going to ask for info about him because he's a political opponent. Well, clearly us to when they get into trouble with the US, etc., to say I didn't know. They're not going to come to us. And if they're associated and in a criminal manner with the Mohammeds, they too have to face the consequences. People have to face accountability. And so that's all I'm going to say on the matter.
We tell you now that Jaipal Sharma, a former member of the Partnership for National Unity Coalition, on Friday revealed that he has now joined the Alliance for Change, called AFC, and he will be a candidate for the September 1, 2025 general and regional elections. In the previous APNU AFC government, Jaipal Sharma was a minister within the Ministry of Finance. His party, the Justice for All Party, was part of the APNU coalition. Businesswoman Carrie Gravesani Bart was introduced as another new AFC candidate at the party's presser this Friday.
I'm heartened that I was given this opportunity to be a candidate on the list of candidates, and I believe it will be both on the national top-up and the geographical constituency list, Region 4, and I'm so pleased to be in his leadership, because I personally believe that the best of presidential candidates, including the incumbents, the best of them is Mr. Nile Jews, because of the person he is, the qualities of him. So when you're going to choose a person, you're choosing a person with quality of leadership, and Mr. Nile Jews fits and tick all the boxes in terms of what you want to see as a leader in Guyana. Talk about being honorable, having integrity, honest, and I could even go far to say that he's a man after God's own heart. And that is the kind of endorsement any presidential candidate should be wanting from his candidates.
A new housing scheme, Hoffman Org, has been developed in Region 2 Pomeroon Supernam, and there are about 400 lots available for distribution to residents along the Essequibo coast. The housing scheme was developed on about 102 acres of land and is situated about 1.5 miles from the main access road. Already, systems are in place to expand the scheme. The Ministry of Housing and Water on Friday hosted a Dream Realized housing drive at Anna Regina Essequibo. Addressing those gathered, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell said the demand for housing continues to grow across the country.
Today, we have on offer a new area that we're going to be introducing. So this will be the third area in Region 2. And that is those who know the right pronunciation, but I'm told it's Hoffman-Orrick. The area that you will be allocated today, that's Hoffman-Orrick. It's about 102 acres of land. From the main road, it's about maybe not more than 1.5 miles in. So that will tell you that's not much in, 1.5 miles in from the main road. And we're expecting, because as I speak, the surveyors are actually on the ground, because they're examining for us to get additional lands. But we want to move the process. So what we have here today, what we're offering today, is really your first phase on this area. As I said, 104 acres. And we have catered for residential lots. Over 300, close to 400 residential lots we have catered for this area. In Essequibo, from 2011 to now, we have regularized a number of areas, over 226 lots. We have about 190 that are processing titles for areas for persons to receive ownership, because ownership is equally important. For pending applicants that fall from December 31st, 2024 and prior. Let me repeat, December 31st, 2024 and prior. So if you apply this year, please don't waste the staff time. There's no need to have anxiety today. There's no need for you to, in a particular manner, feel that you're being neglected, etc. We're continuing the program. Our commitment is to ensure that we work continuously so that all of our citizens who are eligible can have access to their own land or home.
When the news returns, we hear about efforts to boost aerospace defense. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken on Friday highlighted that the Ghana Police Force is preparing itself so that it does its part to ensure that the September 1, 2025 general and regional elections unfold in a peaceful and secure manner. According to Hicken, the force's preparations include ensuring that its ranks are equipped in both mindset and method. Hicken made this disclosure while addressing those gathered at the force's 186th anniversary annual awards ceremony.
The Guyana Police Force stands firmly anchored in progress, purpose, and preparedness. And with the upcoming general and regional election, we affirm our commitment to ensure a peaceful, secured, and democratic electoral process. Our preparations are grounded in strategy, guided by law, and executed with impartiality. We are enhanced operational readiness, strengthening intelligence cooperation, and ensuring that all police ranks are equipped both in mindset and method to uphold the rule of law while protecting the rights and freedoms of every citizen in Guyana. Therefore, in closing, to the ranks, and ranks, please listen to this. Your dedication is a living embodiment of our mission. Let's remind ourselves that excellence is not destination, but is a discipline. Let us continue to rise to the challenge and lead by example.
The Ghana Defence Force on Thursday commissioned a newly purchased Tecnam P-2012 aircraft, a new asset expected to help the Army boost local aerospace defence capabilities. The aircraft was purchased at a cost of €2.9 million and was commissioned by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Dr. Irfaan Ali.
Let us pray. O Almighty God and Father, let this P-2012 aircraft be for noble and righteous use. Guide every mission, shield all who travel in it, and bless the hands that operate and maintain it. We now consecrate this aircraft, its wings, its frame, and its instrument, to the honor and glory of God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, our helper. Amen.
The Air Corps has a critical role. Let me say that again. A critical role to play in protecting our exclusive economic zone, our vast maritime asset, our hydrocarbon resources, and yes, our fisheries. This is why we need a strong and impregnable Air Corps. The Air Corps is our eyes in the sky, our wings across the sea, and our safety net when nature threatens. It is the difference between being vulnerable and being vigilant. We're investing not only in aircraft, but in the infrastructure to support them. Earlier this year, we opened a brand new hangar at Ogle, state-of-the-art, ready to house and maintain the best of the best. And we're not done. We're building another one at Timeri, because if we're going to fly high, we have to land smart.
We tell you now that the businessman was remanded on Friday following charges related to an incident that resulted in the death of 16-year-old Kimberly Jones from Bel Air Village, Berbice. Paul Mahabal, 33, from Montrose, East Coast, Demerara, appeared before Magistrate Michelle Matthias at the Weldad Magistrates Court. Mahabal faces charges for not providing assistance and failing to stop after the accident, which took place on Tuesday, July 8, 2025. He pleaded not guilty to both charges. Police Prosecutor Sergeant Garfield Edwards opposed bail, arguing that Paul, who collided with Kimberly, did not stop to assist after the incident. Edwards informed the court that Paul passed both the Weldad and Maikoni police stations without reporting the accident and continued on his way until he was apprehended by police at a roadblock in Maikoni. Edwards also alerted the court that Paul poses a flight risk. Following the prosecutor's statement, Magistrate Matthias ordered Paul to be taken into custody. The case has been moved to the Wellington Magistrates Court for disclosure on July 16, 2025. When the newsroom returns to financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport news. Stay with us.
We're coming to you from the National Stadium at Providence, the venue for the second annual ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League. Match 3 done and dusted. The Hobart Hurricanes of Australia defeating Dubai Capitals of the United Arab Emirates by 7 wickets, and that victory taking them top of the table. Batting first, Dubai Capitals made 141 for 8 with Gulbuddin Naib, the captain, 31-25 from the opener Sedekula Atal, and the wicket takers for the Hobart Hurricanes, 3 for 21 each for Mohamed Nabi and Fabian Allen. And the Hobart Hurricanes batting 142 for 3, winning with 3 overs to spare. McAllister Wright, he made 50 off 47. The captain, Ben McDermott, 48. And Jagdeo, 23 not out. A wicket apiece for Rohan Mustafa, Case Ahmed and Aryaman Varma. Alongside me, Akeem Green. Convincing victory for the Australians there, going top of the table, winning by 7 wickets with as many as 3 overs to spare.
Yeah, certainly a good showing yet again thus far by the Australians in this tournament. Cricket Victoria in the inaugural year, they would have done well, obviously. And obviously the Hobart Hurricanes, BPL champions, you know, they showed their quality, they showed their adaptability, as they would have pointed out at the post-match, that these conditions, whether it be the heat or the pitch, is quite unusual from what they experienced back in Australia. And so they played well, but I just felt that Dubai Capitals, yet again, just haven't gotten enough runs on the board. I think the wicket is more than 148 for 8. I think probably 160, 180. You know, between that markup, it would be a challenging total, whether it be in the day or in the evening. So obviously they fell short by 20, 30, and it came back to hurt them because the Hobart Hurricanes would have won with 3 overs to spare.
Yeah, and of course an important thing in this tournament is everybody talking about conditions here in Guyana, and 2 of the players who would have played in CPL before, Mohamed Nabi and Fabian Allen, picking up 3 wickets and leading the bowling effort for the Hobart Hurricanes.
Yeah, certainly with the amount of rain about leading into this tournament, and I think McAllister Wright would have spoken about it at post-match, was a bit tacky. There was even rain today. Spin will play, you know, a good part of proceedings. Maybe in the evening, you know, the quicker guys may get some assistance, should show a bit quicker on the wicket, but spin obviously is going to play a big part. So those guys with the experience of playing here, probably bowling into the wicket and getting a bit of turn, obviously, is going to be a key factor.
Yeah, and of course, the Dubai Capitals, they won their opening game yesterday, losing this one here now, and they would want to recover quick enough to ensure that they stay in the top 2, because at the end of the day, the top 2 from the end of the preliminary phase would go on to play in that final.
Yeah, look, you know, the thing about this tournament is just 5 teams.
Yep.
Only the top 2 gets in to the final, not like the other tournaments where, you know, there's a 4th place eliminator or whatnot. So it's important that you get a good net run rate as well, and that you ensure you win as much as you can when you can, because it's champion teams. There are 5 champion teams in their own regards, and obviously you know that champion teams do come well at some point, and so it could be your night when you lose, and then that one defeat could see you finishing 3rd, you know, and out of challenge for a spot in the final.
All right, let's take a look now at the post-match press conferences which took place this morning.
170, 160 in the innings, so it's a good defending score for the bowling side. But if you look our bowling side, so we have a good experience bowlers like Ashika, now luckily guys here, and Drag. So we have plenty of options on the bowling side. But yeah, I can say so today is a very tough day for us, but we learn a lot of things. Yeah, as a professional, if you look as a profession, we play like for a long time the cricket. So and we have plenty of good cricketers in the team, so they know everything very well. Shakib played a lot of cricket here, and he has a much good experience. Like Dikwala, you can say, if you look the local guys we have, so like Drags, you can say. So they are professional cricketers. They know, say, how can we handle ourselves very quickly in this kind of short of tournaments. But we're looking good for the rest of the matches.
Yeah, look, I think we're stoked to get off to a win in the first game. I took a fair bit of time to adjust to the conditions. Quite lower and slower to what I'm used to back in Australia. So I'm thankful for spending a bit of time out there and adjust, and hopefully can keep capitalising on that. And the rest, with how late everyone came together.
You know, it's basically bringing the champions around the world. And what do you think about the level of competitiveness? I think the teams are well stacked this year.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. Getting winning teams from all around the globe with such quality players. I really like it. I grew up watching Champions League, and to be honest, like this feels like there's something like that. You're bringing great teams from around the world, and Look, a team like us, we're so thankful to be playing outside in the warmth in a beautiful part of the world this time of year. So I couldn't speak more highly of it.
So last evening we had our first match in the Global Super League on the lights, and the Guyana Amazon Warriors, they lost to the defending champions, the Rangpur Riders, who batted first and made 162 for 5, 44 not out from Kyle Mears, 35 from Somya Shakar, and 34 not out from Iftikhar Ahmed. 2 wickets each for Imran Tahir and Gudakesh Moti. And the Warriors, they were in with a chance. They were leading the run of play at one stage, being bowled out for 154 in 19.1 overs. 27 from Moeen Ali and Johnson Charles top scoring with 40 of 28. But the wickets going to Khalid Ahmed, the man of the match, 4 for 36, and 2 each for Azmatullah Omarzai and Tabriz Shamsi. The Amazon Warriors starting with a defeat, and certainly, Akeem, the fans that came out here last night, they were disappointed with the outcome.
Yeah, most naturally. I think given the lead up, the positive comments from Captain Imran Tahir about having an extended opportunity to prepare, given the signings, it was star from top to bottom. Given the situation of the match when they were quite ahead of the game, and then to lose, I think you saw some social media comments, same old from the Amazon Warriors. So it was much to be disappointed about, but obviously it isn't that they've been signed off into consignment that they can't, rebound and get into the top 2 and also live this title. But it just shows that probably, there's much to work on. And I guess the players, given the quality they are, just need to click, and I guess focus on the job at hand, which is to finish top 2 and be in the final.
Yeah, you mentioned some things to work on. The fielding effort was a bit disappointing last night, dropping a few catches there, the Guyana Amazon Warriors. And of course, they have a couple of players on the bench, Sot Shakil, who is the overseas player. And of course, a lot of people wondering why Romario Shepherd was not in that 11 last evening. He's nursing an injury, and it could be touch and go whether he would be able to play this evening. And there's also Evan Lewis, who was put on the bench for a much younger Joel Andrew. Kind of surprising move there?
Yeah, very surprising. It was one of the, probably, you don't know if Evan would have picked up a slight niggle over the last couple of days. That's the only fact I can see why Evan Lewis didn't play. To have the caliber of Evan Lewis on the bench fit is strange. So I would like to think that probably Evan had a slight niggle, or they not, and they went with the option of Joel Andrew. But I would like to think that once Evan Lewis is fully fit in these conditions, and you need to win your matches, that Evan should be playing.
Yeah, an interesting thing about Evan, though, when he comes into that lineup, where exactly would he be batting? There is Johnson Charles, Ramanullah Gurbaz at opening the batting, and Moeen Ali batting at 3. So more than likely, we might see Evan Lewis batting in the middle.
I wouldn't think so. I probably think it would be, I think it would be Evan for sure. And maybe Gurbaz goes down one and Johnson Charles. But the two, why, I think it's been historical facts that Johnson Charles doesn't play spin bowling well, doesn't thrive outside of the 6 overs. So in any regard, you want to give the player the best opportunity to score. And I think for Johnson Charles, it would be within the first 6 overs. I think Gurbaz has the skills to nurture the ball around and play the spinners if he comes in a bit late and still go big. And so I think it would have to be Evan and Johnson at the top.
Right, of course, the Amazon Warriors game this evening is a bottom-of-the-table clash. Both teams searching for that first win. The Warriors coming up against Central Stags of New Zealand. We caught up with the captain of the Guyana Amazon Warriors, Imran Tahir, and player of the match, Khalid Ahmed of Rangpur Riders. Skip 49 for 1 after the power play. Where did you lose it from there on?
Look, I think we were in the game most of the time, to be honest with you. We lose it because we keep losing wickets. As we get momentum, we lost 1 wicket, then we lost 2 wickets. And I think that's why we keep battling all the way, obviously till the last over. But for me, I think we played very good cricket. Only thing I was disappointed with the catches, we should have taken those catches, and probably they were 30 runs short. So unfortunately, catches win matches, and then obviously you can't teach that. If you're a professional pro, then you know how to obviously take those catches, and because this is very important in the game, and especially the short format you're playing, and the competition only lasting 8 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, short competition. How disappointing is this opening loss?
Look, it's a big disappointment. It's not a small thing. I always say that. I don't take things for granted. This is everything for me. If I cross that rope, I want to give everything what I have. And then I know that obviously you don't want to do it deliberately, but if you have a camp obviously you had a good camp, good prep before you come into the competition. You should be ready for the war, and the conditions were in our favor also. The ball was really wet. We had a long break. Mordew came in, and ideally we wanted to bat second, but like I said, it's just that I think we were living for each other, and that's where you lose it. We knew we have a kind of player who can change the game in 1 over, or maybe 2 overs, but I think you don't take things for granted, and that's probably the experience I've got from this game.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned those drop catches, but what are some of the positives you can draw from the game?
There is a lot of positive. We played very good cricket, but like I said, there were small things, we just miss out on that, and then unfortunately that costs us the game. And if you do that, obviously in the game, and you're always gonna be catching up with the game, and we just need to be better. I think I'm very happy with the squad, the way we came and deliver, and I'm pretty sure we play a brand of cricket. I'm really sorry, obviously we let the fans down. They come and support us every time. So yeah, look, it's quite hard to take it on, but it's the first game. We still got 3 more opportunities, and we just need to stay focused.
Our victory here tonight, how pleasing is it to come here in this first match and perform?
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমরা ফার্স্ট ম্যাচ উইন করছি। এখানে আসার পরে আমাদের সবার টার্গেট ছিল যে ফার্স্ট ম্যাচ থেকে শুরু করে লাস্ট ম্যাচ পর্যন্ত কেমনে ভালো শেষ করা যায়, তো এটাই আর কি।
He said, Alhamdulillah, our first target was to win the first match, and whenever you start well, the tournament goes better for you. So our target was to finish the game and get in with a win and start the tournament with a win.
You guys batted first. What total you were looking to set?
ব্যাটিং ফার্স্ট নেওয়ার কারণ হচ্ছে আমরা যত বেশি টোটাল নিতে পারবো, পরের দিকে এসে বল গ্রিপ করবে, বল যেহেতু এখানে ডিউ আছে, এখানে পরের দিকে আমি যতটুকু খেলা দেখছি পরের দিকে বল গ্রিপ করে, তো এই মাইন্ডসেট থেকে আমাদের ব্যাটিংটা নেওয়া আর কি।
We had the belief that whatever target we can set, I think he had the confidence that the ball is going to grip in the second half. With the past experience, we have won 3 games in the past where we won 3 games batting first, so that was also a part of it. But he thought that the ball is going to grip and that would play into our advantage.
You came here as defending champions and you have defeated a home side. How big a victory is this for you guys?
অবশ্যই স্পেশাল আমাদের জন্য, আমাদের হোম সাইডকে আমরা হারাইতে পারছি, তো ইনশাআল্লাহ নেক্সটে যাতে আমরা এটাই কন্টিনিউ করতে পারি, এটা দোয়া করবেন সবাই ইনশাআল্লাহ।
Of course, it's special when you come as a defending champion and beat the home crowd in the first game, home team. Please pray for us that we continue to win and eventually play the final.
So, the player of the match of that first evening game of the Global Super League last evening. So President Irfaan Ali has been moving around the venue, Akeem, as he usually does at CPL and at the Global Super League. And last evening, he was part of a group of young Guyanese sportswomen who have, carried the flag with much pride and passion. And they were here at the National Stadium enjoying the view right here from the Red Stand. And it's quite good to see that female sport is being given that push, and it's coming from right to the top.
Yeah, based on his explanation of why he was there and in that specific area where many of the national female athletes were, it's about an initiative that the government is going to be launching in order to empower, support female athletes more. Based on his explanation that you're going to hear in a few seconds, it's about ensuring that obviously in the past, and even probably still present, female athletes had to give up a lot in order to represent Guyana, whether it be work, family, or whatnot. And I think the government is aiming to see how best they can look to bridge that gap. I don't think it's going to be the panacea to fixing everything overnight, but according to the president, it's a start as in how they can create a working module to see how best they can support female athletes. And you would have known in the past that some of our female athletes have done tremendous things, not just at a regional level, but international level, and you can go through a long list of them who would have been world recognized, top in rankings and, win big medals for Guyana. But then you listen some of their stories about the tribulations they had to endure over their career. I think from my understanding, that is where the government is looking to see how best they can minimize such things going forward.
Surrounded by a lot of talented people here tonight. These are all female athletes who would have done our country very proud, and we want to, now launching a new initiative. First of all, sports plays a very important role in our country. We've been investing heavily in sporting infrastructure, developing
sport facilities and creating opportunities for our athletes. But women and those who are excelling at the national level, I think need some special support and emphasis. And that is what we want to launch, a program where we will not only build their facilities and give them opportunity, but where we'll empower them. Because sports is not only about a game or only about representing the country, it's about economic empowerment, social empowerment, it's about unifying people, bringing people together, it's about cultural exchanges. And most of these young ladies here, they play team sports and they're creating network, building networks, exchanging cultural experiences. It's important. And what we want to do is to support these women, these young athletes, ensure that they're not giving up anything in pursuit of their sporting excellence, if you want to put that. Because many times women have to give up their some professional life, some economic opportunity, some family opportunity to pursue sporting events. So I'm here tonight to meet a wide cross-section of female athletes. We have maybe all the disciplines represented here. And you know how important this is for the region. We also live in a new era where I think women, they're playing an integral role in shaping communities, shaping families, shaping mindset, and shaping the thinking among young people. And that is to say, in the region, we have a problem now. I would say it is a problem where our men are falling away. We have 70% or more of our graduates are women now. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in recognizing that, we must understand now that women are not only the opinion shapers, but they are that important segment of the population that drive change, that drive community life, and we need to work closely, especially with our athletes. All our athletes, they have enormous influence on young people. So when you look at influencers, sometimes we focus on social media influencers. But these athletes have tremendous influence among their peers and younger ones. So we have to leverage that influence, optimize that influence so that it can create a positive impact in the society.